you must never say, places you must never go, and questions you must never ask. Not in the night, not when the shadows are listening. This is a story about the child who wasn't buried. Ashes in the Bloodline, Episode 1. I'm not here to comfort you. I am here to remind you that in some villages, ghosts don't haunt graves, they haunt bloodlines. In the quiet, forgotten corners of the world, where the dust of generations settles thick upon the earth, there exists truths that defy explanation. Realities that twist the fabric of what we understand. These are not campfire tales born to frighten children, but echoes of a deeper, darker history that clings to the very soul of a place. And nowhere in this more profoundly true than in the village of Akanze. Akanze, a village nestled deep within the verdant embrace of the forest, appears at first glance like any other village. Mud-walled homes with thatched roofs, the distant sounds of children's laughter, the rhythmic pound of mortar and pestle. But beneath this placid surface lies a secret, a name whispered only in hushed tones, if at all. In Akanze, they do not speak of Ngozi. Ngozi, a name that means blessing. A cruel irony, perhaps, for a child whose life was anything but blessing. She died at 5. A fever, they said, a sudden consuming fire within her tiny body that left her cold and still. In most places, a death like Ngozi's will be met with tears, with grieving, with the solemn ritual of burial. A small mound of earth and wooden marker, a place for sorrow to take root and eventually with time to fade. But in Akanze, for Ngozi, no grave was dug, no body buried. Imagine, if you can, the horror of it. The profound sense of unease that must have settled upon the villagers. Was it fear? A desperate attempt to sever a tie that they believe might bind them? Or was it something far more ancient? A custom born of a terror so deep it predated memory. Instead of earth and wood, her name was sealed. Sealed in a calabash of silence. A vessel perhaps not of clay or gold, but of unspoken dread, of collective denial. And this silence, this absence, was buried deep within the heart of the village, or perhaps deep within the heart of its people. For years, The silence held. The seasons turned. Children were born, grew, and became adults. Life, as it always does, found a way to continue. But a seed had been planted, a void created. And like any void, it yearned to be filled. And last night, the silence shattered. She came back, Ngozi, not as a wisp of smoke, not as a fleeting shadow, but as a tangible, terrifying presence. She wore a red wrapper, the color of spilled blood, of vibrant life and violent death. Her feet were bare, perhaps still seeking the earth that had denied them rest. And her eyes were empty, not hollowed, but utterly devoid of the light of a living soul. They were windows into a profound darkness, a void that mirrored the one left by her unburial. She did not rage, she did not scream, she did not tear at the fabric of the village. She simply whispered to her mother, the woman who had given her life, and then in some unfathomable way denying her death. Her words were not a plea, but an accusation, chilling in its simplicity, devastating in its implication. She whispered, "Why do you leave me in the dark?" And with those words, the world of her twisted. A primal fear, long suppressed, broke free. The natural order, once a comforting rhythm, began to unravel. The birds, though joyful herald of dawn, now fall silent. Their songs, once a tapestry of sound, replaced by an oppressive quiet. The very river, the lifeblood of the village, has turned to ash. Its waters, once clear and flowing, is now opaque, grey, and lifeless, a reflection of the dying spirit of the land. And the children, every child born since has no shadow. Think of it, the innocence of a child, their vibrant energy, their playful chase of their own fleeting forms. To have no shadow is to be incomplete, to be untethered from the world, a spectral echo of what should be whole. Are they truly living? Or are they merely placeholders, waiting to be claimed by the darkness that now encroaches? The whispers have begun. The villagers, desperate for answers, for meaning, for a way to comprehend the horror that has befallen them, offer theories. Some say she's looking for her bones, a desperate search for the physical proof of her existence, for the resting place she was denied, a desire for the fundamental dignity of burial. Some say she wants a name, Not a given name, but a recognition, a proper acknowledgement of our life, of our death, of our place in the world. A name spoken with respect, with sorrow, with memory. But me, I say, if you hear your dead child whisper, don't answer. Because to answer is to acknowledge, to invite, to become entwined in the darkness that Ngozi now embodies. To answer is to open a door that should remain forever sealed. For in Akansi, the ghost does not haunt a grave that doesn't exist. She haunts the bloodline. She haunts the very essence of those who denied her peace. The curse is not one that strikes from outside. It is one that flows within. Inherited, passed down through the generations, an inescapable legacy of an unforgivable act. Hatches in the bloodline. Some curses are inherited, and in Akansi, the inheritance of a terrifying one indeed. The silence they sought has become their loudest torments. The darkness they impose upon Ngozi has become their own unending night. And the price of an unburied child is paid not in tears, but in the slow, agonizing erosion of life itself. The shadows, it seems. But remember this, hatches never die. They wait, and the curse does not sleep. It only hides in the shadows, waiting for the next name to be called. This was only one piece of the story. The bloodline runs deeper, and the fire has only begun to rise. Join us in the next episode of Arches in the Bloodline. Subscribe, share, and let the story claim you.